up on the pitch, you know, which actually takes away that real backwards and forwards nature of our game, makes you actually think a bit more about how you're going to work out opportunities, and then, you know, in the end it's just creating this amazing feeling when you're shooting and scoring a goal.
Yeah, in the past there was a lot of end-to-end stuff, wasn't there?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think, you know, we got a lot of feedback on that. At times the game could feel quite quick going backwards and forwards. We're not changing the game speed, but by tightening up the marking it's going to have the effect of kind of slowing the game down a little bit, which is more realistic, and now we're giving you new ways to attack with some new runs. Players can now drop short, go in behind. Your players can now back into defenders. Some new ways to dribble, a bit more control when you're sprinting, but also with a bit of momentum. And now with sort of variable dribble touches when you're sprinting, you know, you have to be careful and thinking about exactly how you're going to sprint. So the great thing about this is it now creates you to think a bit more football. It's in no way harder, it's just a lot more fun, and it's really cool to work those opportunities.
Now, some people may not know this, but in the past, the sprint angle of players has actually been restricted in the past, hasn't it?
Yeah, so in all previous football games, forever basically, when you were sprinting, the turn angle was capped to 22.5 degrees. We've completely changed that, and now you can now turn at any angle, in any direction. But obviously, to make that so it's not completely overpowering, we've obviously got momentum in there, so it feels great, it looks great. As players will see, you see the body weight shift as they go from one direction to the other.
Now, shooting is obviously a massive part of the game. Have you improved this in terms of the mechanic?
Yeah, so well, we haven't completely chosen the shooting mechanic. What we have done is still the B button, you still power the shot up. But what you're now going to do is get much better visual feedback. So in previous FIFAs, we would do what we call pose holds, where players would sort of slide into position if they were slightly out of position to kick the ball. If the ball was under their feet, we would snap their legs into position so they could get off a great shot. What we're now doing is respecting what we call phase. So what we mean by that is players getting their feet set, so they're adjusting their stride to take the ball in and get off a great shot. If they don't have the opportunity to do that, they'll now see different animations where they have to dig the ball out, rush shots. So what you're going to get is, right now, because we always see the same animation, and at times the way the ball comes out when you shoot is different, now you're going to understand why, because you see visually right, it's digging it out, and on top of that, with the great ball physics, it's just going to feel incredible. We realized that some of the ways we were simulating it had some issues, especially with drag in the game, the way the ball slowed down. And now we've worked on that. We can now kick the ball harder, which imparts more spin. So we're getting much more realistic movement. We get dipping shots, the ball's moving in the air. We get those low rising shots. So again, you look at better animation and that feeling of just seeing the ball come off correctly with the physics, and it feels incredible. Now,
Nick, I know you're also a Liverpool fan like me, so are we going to get any of those Steven Gerrard screamer moments?
Yeah, exactly. The example we showed is Stevie's goal against Olympiacos. One of the greatest nights at Anfield. And that low rising shot, which is something we've never been able to do before, and it just feels incredible when you pull it off.
So these changes are basically to make the game even more like the real sport?
Yeah, our goal is obviously to make the best playing football game we can. That's about making it authentic, feel realistic, but obviously it's got to be fun as well. So, there's a balance there. We've got the build-up play, the working the ball through the midfield. If you choose to, you can still send a long ball over the top, but for us, it's that balance between making the game incredibly realistic, but also really making it fun.
And do you have any surprises in store in the future?
There's lots more to come. We're just talking about a few new parts of FIFA 14 today, and there'll be lots more to come in the coming months.
Excellent.